Oh no, it's time to go digging with Dugger. G'day, Dugger here. It's been a while since I've done a veggie garden video. There's been a couple of reasons for it. I think it's time to go down and have a bit of a look at what's going on this year. Come on then, let's go digging with Dugger. Now, on their own and by themselves, each one of these problems isn't insurmountable. So I guess I knew that building a totally new veggie garden and starting again from scratch was going to be difficult and was going to have a lot of problems that I'm going to have to solve. But I think what I really wasn't prepared to deal with was the absolute multitude of problems that have all seemed to have come together in what you'd call a perfect storm. What I didn't really expect was all of them to happen at once. Now, by themselves, each issue is infinitely solvable and dealable with. But having had many of them happen to me all at once, it really took the life out of my interest in coming down here to the veggie garden. I've actually felt like giving up at some point. You know, I've wondered whether it was all worth it. And I figured there might be a few people out there who also might have felt the same way about gardens, that they've tried really hard to get a veggie garden going. Nothing seems to have worked, and so you've just given up and decided it just wasn't worth the effort. Well, let me tell you, it's always worth the effort to try and stay in love with your veggie garden. Okay, so I'm sure that some of the problems I'm facing down here are going to be pretty similar to what you may have faced. And let's see if we can't work together and find some solutions to what's going on. Because I really don't want to be eating all these veggies for the rest of my life. Alright, let's go check out what's really happening down in the veggie garden this year. Come down here this morning ready to pick all this beautiful lettuce that I've got ready to go. And oh dear, it looks like someone's had a chomp. Something's been in here and nibble on almost every single bit of lettuce I've got. It's decided that just having one wasn't enough for it, and it better taste every single one of them. It's gone crazy on my coriander. Seems a bit partial to my parsley. It's gone ballistic on my beetroot. Dined out on me dill. Oh wow, there is nothing more disheartening than coming down in the morning and seeing things that you were about to pick be absolutely destroyed. Unfortunately, it's a pretty common problem to most gardeners up here in North Queensland. And yeah, it's possums. The possums are real buggers in a veggie garden, but unfortunately they have an absolute right to be here. I mean, this is wild, this is nature. It's their home as well, hey. So, why did my veggies get chomped? This happens every year. I knew this was going to happen, and I'd taken measures to prevent it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of lack of diligence, lack of care, and just human error. This one's easily solved. The possums are quite nimble and agile and quite intelligent creatures, and they'll beat most methods that you put out to stop them. One of the best things that I've ever found to deter them is simply nets. Now, you can build a overhead structure and large nets like this to keep them off, but in my much larger gardens down the bottom, I've just found that simply throwing a net over the top of the veggies is much easier and much simpler to do. And it works just as well. I've got a bit of torn off net here. Yeah, I'm not going to be too dainty or precious. I'm just going to run this over the top of all my seedlings like this. And there you go. All those beautiful young lettuce seedlings are going to be safe from those pesky buggers overnight. It's the start of August and she's hot. I mean real hot. It's got to be over 30 degrees in the sun today. This baking sun in the middle of veggie season is quite unusual, and it leads to a problem like this that's created by new soil and heat. My soil's getting so compacted, it's going to be difficult to get anything to grow in here. When that soil gets really compacted, it makes it almost impossible for the plant roots to find some space to grow into. For themselves, the plants actually don't look too bad. They're developing fruit, they're getting flowers, they're growing. So I don't think there's any real issues with nutrient uptake from the soil. Yep, I think soil compaction is the real issue here. As it was a new project, I started with brand new dirt. It's mainly sandy loam with some organic material mixed in. But what I think the problem is that it hasn't aged very well, and the organic material quickly evaporates in the heat that we have here. It's leaving the soil with not much in it to stop the compaction from happening. And if I come and scratch around here where some of these tomatoes haven't done real well, I find that while the soil's still reasonably wet, it's just as hard as a rock. You can see how hard that is. I mean, that's new soil. You shouldn't be pulling up blocks of soil like that, right? If we pull that apart, you can see how very little organic material there is in there. It's dry, it's compacted, and you're not going to get roots growing through there very well at all. I need lots more organic material. You can buy a bag of compost from the shops, you can buy manure, you can get mulch, anything will do. The thing about it is, you've got to keep at it. It could take years to get this soil to the perfect condition. One of the other issues that I've found has been really affecting the growth rate of my garden. There's some very uneven light. It's now 11 o'clock in the morning, and I've got half of my veggie garden in shade. 10 years ago when I started this garden, I didn't really have this problem. But now a lot of the surrounding bush has grown to a point where I can't really deal with it anymore. My winter sun comes across in this angle here. And you can see the shade and the trees that the afternoon and morning sun has to pass through. Afternoon and morning sun is some of the most important light that you need for your veggies. The way I'm going to deal with it is I have all this spare space up here. You're probably better off moving your whole garden to somewhere that you're going to get a better all-round sunlight. By this time of the year, I fully expected to have lots of veggies growing, to be able to be passing those veggies along to other people and filling my own stomach. I'm barely harvesting enough for myself here at the moment. It's been really disappointing and it's been really hard to deal with. If I'm having that problem, I'm sure that some of you guys out there are having the same issues as well. So my message for you is it happens to everyone. Never give up. There's always some easy solutions. You just have to stick with it and keep the love going. Because in the end, really, it is all going to be worth it. Righto, looks like I've got a bit of work to do and a few things to sort out here in the patch. I wanted to say a big thank you to all of you who've subscribed to my channel and supported me over the last couple of months. So thank you guys, really. Never underestimate the power that pressing a like button or pressing the subscribe button can make to somebody. You've really given me the encouragement to want to come back down here in my veggie garden and sort this mess out. Cheers guys. You've been more help than you can imagine, because without your views, without your support, your comments and your subscriptions, I don't think I'd be interested in ever coming back down here in the garden again. I hope I can help you get some love back for your own garden if you've let it go, or encourage you to get out and give it your best. Never give up. Righto, Dugger out.